American soccer fans, welcome to episode 109 of the USA Soccer Cast. We are bringing you everything about the U.S. national teams, the players, the leagues, and everything else that impacts the game of soccer in these United States. I'm Donald Wine. It's June 9th, 2023, and remember back in episode 103 when I went on this whole long-winded rant about how Lionel Messi was not going to come to Major League Soccer because the riches of Saudi Arabia were just going to be too much to pass up? Well, look who's wrong about that one. Messi is coming to Inter Miami and Major League Soccer, turning down a super mega deal from Saudi club Al Hilal to the tune of 3 years, 1.6 billion euros. Yes, that's with a B. And also turning down his former club, FC Barcelona. He made the announcement on Wednesday, and of course, it sent shockwaves all over the world. And to be fair to myself, on episode 103, I did say I reserved the right to be wrong. I believe I said, when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I could have been right. So I'm right because it could have been wrong. So I was right in saying I could have been wrong. So good job me from 2 months ago. But this is massive. This is a seismic moment in Major League Soccer's history, in American soccer, just how it's resonated. This announcement led everything. I mean everything. Every news outlet led with this. CNN led with Messi coming to Inter Miami before talking about all the air quality issues that we've been having here on the East Coast. But this is a big deal for Major League Soccer. It's a big deal for American soccer. And so we're just going to talk about it for a little bit because, look, I was wrong in thinking that he wasn't going to turn down those riches and come to MLS. But MLS is throwing a lot of bags at him. And let's start with this. We don't know any specifics about what this deal entails, but The Athletic broke down kind of what it involves. And of course, salary is going to be involved. There is an option for ownership stake in Inter Miami upon the conclusion of the contract. Apple is giving him some money in this, including a piece of potential revenue related to profits from MLS Season Pass. Of course, MLS Season Pass, they have a 10-year deal. This is the first year of a 10-year deal worth over $2 billion. But clearly interest is going to go up in that service because of the fact that Messi is now going to be playing in the league. And then Adidas. Adidas is also kicking in money, including a piece of potential increase in revenues from him coming to MLS. That would be like jersey sales. If you don't think Messi's jersey is going to be the number one jersey sold this year in Major League Soccer, then no, you're kidding yourself. I mean, even try to get one for my dad. They won't let you do it yet, but I guarantee you it's going to be out very soon. And Inter Miami's jersey is going to vault to number one in the rankings of most popular Major League Soccer jersey. But that's not all. This is also sending seismic waves in the form of people who are now interested in coming to Major League Soccer and looking at it in a different light. Sergio Busquets apparently wants to come with him to Miami. Tata Martino, reportedly going to be the new head coach. Messi apparently gets a say in who the head coach is going to be, and that person reportedly is going to be Tata Martino. Luis Suarez. Initially, it was told that he wanted to come to Major League Soccer and come to Miami, but he is under contract with Grêmio in Brazil until 2024. But he has kind of hinted that once that's done next year, yeah, sure, he'd want to come to Miami. Jordi Alba wants to come now. Angel Di Maria is considering now. Antoine Griezmann is considering a move. Someone needs to tell all these guys they can't play for Miami, but that just goes to show you some of the star power that is being attracted by the simple fact that Lionel Messi has decided to play here. And I think it's interesting how quickly that has transpired. We've gone from players, looking at Major League Soccer as a retirement league, and you're still going to hear some of these people because it's not like Lionel Messi is 20 years old. He's in his mid-30s. But at the same time, I think Major League Soccer has a moment where they are getting eyeballs, way more eyeballs than they used to, because of the fact that arguably one of the greatest players that ever lived is playing at least some of his final years in that league. And that time that he starts playing could be as soon as next month. The transfer window opens on July 5th officially. And there's even been a seismic movement in the form of tickets. Every single game involving Inter Miami starting from July 1st on has been sold out, at least from current available ticket inventory. Some teams have even pulled back their tickets to package them up and sell them at a later date, presumably at a premium as part of season ticket packages, what have you. But the interest is there from everyone. And now there's even talk by Mike Ryan of the Dan Le Batard show, who broke all of this months ago. And I mean months ago. He was the first person saying it, to the point where, again, even I was like, yo, man, dude, I don't know where he's getting his sources, but this is not working. The math ain't mathing. But the math apparently did. Mike Ryan is now saying that Cristiano Ronaldo could be headed to MLS in the near future. Not necessarily this summer, but you could see maybe after the next season, that, or this time next summer, that Cristiano Ronaldo wants to come to Major League Soccer and potentially land somewhere where, again, just like we did when Real Madrid and Barcelona would play against each other, we have a Ronaldo versus Messi right here in Major League Soccer. So there's a lot to unpack just from that, but I'm going to pause here for a quick break. Coming up, we're going to talk about what Major League Soccer has to do to truly capitalize on this seismic moment for the league. We'll be right back. We are back, and quickly I want to talk about some of what the league, Major League Soccer, has to do to capitalize on this moment where we know for sure that Lionel Messi is coming to play for Inter Miami. Now, of course, there's a lot that still needs to be worked out between now and the start of the transfer window. There's a lot of contracts that need to be signed. There needs a lot of contracts that need to be reviewed. And there's a lot of moving parts here. So it's not a done deal yet. They may have agreed on stuff, but it's very clear that there's a lot of parties involved in this, and they have to figure out a way to get all of that finalized. It could be shortly, but it could also take a couple weeks before we see that. But the league has to start right now figuring out how to make this truly impactful for not just Inter Miami, but for the rest of the league. Every team has got to start thinking about how to market this. Like you said, like I guess you said before the break, most of the games involving Inter Miami for the rest of the season are sold out, but there's still tickets available. But you can't also just say it's Messi coming to play, get your tickets now. You have to figure out how to market your team in this. You have to start thinking about what players you want to put up on the poster, right? That when Lionel Messi and Inter Miami come to town, who's lining up alongside of him? Of course, no one is going to have the stature of Lionel Messi, and people are going to look at it maybe in that light. But you can't just say Lionel Messi's coming to town, get your tickets. You have to figure out a way to get people to want to be involved with your team as well. Messi fans in your city are going to come see him. That's for sure. But they're also coming to see your team. And, you know, DC United, Vancouver Whitecaps, Nashville SC, Atlanta United, whoever it is, they need to focus on how to market their team alongside Messi to make it where they can get some residual effect from this in the form of new fans. You got to step up facilities. When David Beckham entered the league, there was a lot of things that changed. And it wasn't just the designated player rule. There was a lot of focus on, you know, facilities, amenities, you know, the food that teams got to have players as they came into the arena. I mean, some people were saying that they didn't feed you breakfast in Major League Soccer before Beckham arrived, and Beckham showed up and was like, this is dumb. You need to change this. If you guys want to start thinking about the nutrition of the players and the keep them fit and physically ready to play, and also to quickly recover from these demanding games and from all the travel, you have to start thinking about these little things. Everyone, I know the pressure on everybody at Inter Miami has gone up. because every detail is going to be scrutinized. Everything needs to improve. The facilities need to improve. Again, the amenities, what players get, how to travel, all of these things. They're going to learn a lot from Messi, and Messi in turn is going to learn a lot about this league and how it works. We're going to find out about him playing on turf. We're going to find out how he plays if he has to travel from Miami to Seattle to play a game, traveling across this huge country and taking some of what he knows and what he's picked up over his years. That is going to be something that the league needs to also improve on. And again, a rising tide will lift all boats, but it has to be where every single team is thinking about this, because Lionel Messi is going to leave at one point. Who's going to come in and say, oh, well, they didn't learn anything by having him here? You have to make sure you're ready. MLS is going to have to step up security so much. It's not even funny. Every single game, there's going to be people rushing the field to try and, take a picture with Lionel Messi or just to hug him. This is some people call him the soccer god. Like, this is a big deal that he's here. And even me as a Real Madrid fan who's had to root against him for a better part of 2 decades, I understand this. But Major League Soccer needs to understand that the security needs to step up. They got to have more security. They got to make sure that all the players feel safe and that also Lionel Messi feels safe. Because if he doesn't, he's out of here. And he's taking all of his money. He's taking all of his influence. He's taking all his friends that want to play with him, and they're all going to leave because they're going to understand that this is not what it's cracked up to be. So they have to figure that out. A change in roster rules. Again, it's funny. All these players want to play for Miami now that he's coming, and that's great. All of them are interested in the league. That's great. It's also interesting that Inter Miami was being punished before hardcore because they cheated and they tried to circumvent roster rules and salary cap rules. And now they're getting help from the league and from all the other 28 teams to get one player. And I think that's kind of funny, but they really need to look at how to continue to compete to get the best players in the world, and not just the older ones, the younger ones as well, the players in their prime. The talk about back in the day about MLS being a retirement league, that can't be resurrected by Lionel Messi coming to this league and bringing a bunch of guys who are on the tail end of the careers with him. They need to start focusing on how do they become a top 5, 6, 7 destination as a league for the best talent on the planet, not just from Europe, from Asia, from Africa, from South America, and here in the United States, in Mexico and Canada and North America. How do they make it where they are competing with the EPL, with the Bundesliga, with Ligue 1, with La Liga, with Serie A, with the Brasileiro? How are they competing to get some of these players? With Liga MX, they have to figure out how to make it where this is not a flash in the pan money grab, essentially. You don't want it where people are coming to see Messi. When Messi leaves, they go back into wherever. You want those people to stay. Inter Miami fans have to figure out how to turn Messi fans into Miami fans, not Miami fans into Messi fans. That's already there. They have to figure out how to create and captivate those people who are coming to see one player. And that's a hard challenge, but it's also something that they need to start thinking about. And hopefully they've already started thinking about long before we have this conversation. And when it comes to the league as well, they have to show that they can compete on the international stage. CONCACAF Champions Cup, yes, it's being rebranded or retro-branded, I say, because it used to be the Champions Cup before it went to Champions League. And now they're going back to that branding. But they need to compete on that. They need to, get into the Club World Cups because, again, this is a chance to showcase the league. Messi is giving them an opportunity to do so. And I'm not saying that, U.S. Open Cup, they got to fold and let Inter Miami win so that he can play in, CONCACAF Champions League. But they need to show that they are above anything. It does not matter what the facilities are. It does not matter what the amenities that they may or may not have when it comes to traveling on the road. We've seen the commissioner and other people talk about U.S. Open Cup and how some of the facilities are below their standards. They need to get past that. They need to help figure out how to lift those standards for everyone else. But also they need to show that, hey, if we're the best league in the world or one of the best leagues in the world, we want to be treated as such that we need to be able to play at any time, anywhere against anybody. And that is so paramount to how people view this league, because there's still people in this country who just look at MLS and consider it like a farmer's league. They consider it a league that nobody cares about, that only people that are interesting that they'd want to watch are the old timers who are coming in their last final years. And they can't do like they did with the NASL back in the day. They can't take that model and duplicate it because we know it's not sustainable. Pele played for that league, and he's the greatest player in my mind that ever lived. And that league faltered like 2 years or 3 years after he left. That can't happen in this case. And I don't think it will, but they need to figure out and say, this can't be just a bump. This needs to be a gradual, if not exponential growth that sustains and continues on the upward trend the day that Lionel Messi leaves this league and either goes elsewhere or retires. So there's a lot that MLS has to do besides just getting this contract signed in ink. They need to figure out what these next 2.5, 3 years are going to look like with Lionel Messi in the league, and also the next decade after he leaves the league and after he decides to stop playing for Inter Miami. But we have a long way to talk about that. We have lots of discussion about this. I know it's one of the biggest discussions in American soccer today. It's something that has captivated even the general public. This is a big deal, and I'm glad that he's coming to the league. It'll be great to see him play once again in America. I've seen him play a couple times on the national when Argentina's played, but to see him play for Inter Miami would be pretty cool. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm ready to see what MLS has to do, and also what these other teams are going to do to try and, again, step up to the plate and level up many, many levels to make this as truly impactful a moment as it appears to be. So that's going to do it for episode 109 of the USA Soccer Cast. Thank you for listening. Remember, follow us on Twitter. We're at USA Soccer Cast. Don't forget, we have affiliate programs with Homage, Breaking Tea, Fanatics, and MLS Store. So you can head to our linktree.com/USA Soccercast, support the show, get the latest gear. The U.S. women's national team jerseys are out. The Gold Cup jerseys are out for the men. Lots of new apparel on Homage, Breaking Tea, and at Fanatics. So go ahead and support the show. Click on those links. Get your gear. Get ready for a solid, busy summer full of soccer beginning next week with the Nations League finals. We will be back then to discuss the roster and just previewing those games. But until then, we will talk to you again soon. Peace.